it's Jouelzy, and it's time for another Pop Snark. We're talking about everything from the low brow to the high brow, as long as your eyebrows are on fleek. Are you ready? Do you got your drink in hand? Can we do it? Click, 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 click. Grapefruit juice and peach Grand Marnier. Yeah, I feel a little bad about this being my last Pop Snark. Last month I was traveling so much and still trying to get videos out that I ended up only doing videos on the HBO Issa Rae series Insecure, which is totally worth the watch. But I didn't realize that because people didn't watch the show, they didn't watch my reviews, and so they felt like I hadn't put a video out in like, girl, maybe 6-7 weeks then. I recently put out 2 videos. I did one that's sponsored by AARPs, but actually please go watch that video. So if you could just do it for a sister. Also, I did a video about smart brown girl gift ideas. Today is Sunday. If you ain't got your gift by Tuesday, girl, what are you doing with your life? I mean, my gift ideas are Poppington if you have that Amazon Prime. Of course, I shouted out the Smart Brown Girl Stay Blessed and Unbothered brand. Yes, and I have a coupon code available. So we now have a male specific t-shirt. You can grab yours too. And also, anything that's printed on a crew neck sweatshirt is unisex. Alright, first up, let's talk about some of the sadder things that are happening around the world. So everyone has heard this talk about Aleppo. I will post links to some write-ups if you're interested in like learning more about the situation. Bashir al-Assad, who has been president since around 2000, against rebel guerrilla organizations. And this sounds so antiquated to say, but Syria is positioned in a very critical spot. When we're in 2016 means there's a long history of very complicated politics, has made me very kind of hesitant to suggest to blindly or blanketly question how the politics are playing out in this region. Obama, the thing that he wanted to be remembered for with regards to foreign policy was going to be the Iran peace deal that John Kerry, Secretary of State, negotiated around last year that the Republicans have been getting a headache about. And Iran is a neighboring country to Syria. Iran is also in a very critical position. And Obama also inherited a country that was in the midst of a very financially wasteful war with Afghanistan and Iraq. When Bashir al-Assad is bombing his own people, what is America supposed to do? If we could sit here and allow a man that looks like a fuzzy Cheeto to be elected as president based off of campaigning off about lies around ISIS and Obama, do we want the US to go in and arm the rebels? Like, I don't know. On top of it, Russia. So Russia has their hands in just about everything they can have their hands in. There is a power struggle. When we talk about the Russian hacking situation where they've hacked in and influenced our election in order to help Trump win, which I wholeheartedly believe is true. And girl, I'm trying not to depress myself, so I be trying, like, I see it, but I don't be trying to absorb it. There's a whole history lesson behind the Republicans, the Cold War, Russia, why this whole situation is just like a, what the fuck? Putin is a Libra. Let me tell y'all, Libras like to get revenge. They are part of the Zodiac Mafia. They are like the Dawn, the leaders, the godfathers of the petty ass revengeful that will get revenge. Zodiac, so I mean, that's my cute key. Hey girl, let's like lighten this up, take a sip. Speaking of The Atlantic, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who you know I love dearly, did a long read entitled My President Was Black. I believe it's like a 5-chapter write-up. It takes like 45 minutes to read. It's not that long. But he does chapters, and I think it's important to note the chapter titles because they are titled after different influences that do matter to African-American pop culture, like Marvin Gaye's songs. Coates did a follow-up interview with Charlie Rose that is really good and kind of explaining his opinion on Obama after doing that write-up for The Atlantic. A lot of times when I hear what has Obama done for black people, I don't necessarily believe that really comes down to the policy that he has or has not enacted. And it has much more to do with the ideological aspect of Obama in his standing up and articulating being for the black people. And Coates definitely hits on that throughout several points in the article that addresses kind of the ideological race issue with Obama, and that Obama grew up outside of the mainland United States in Hawaii with white parents and white grandparents, born to a Kenyan father. So his entrance into the black identity, and the way he describes it, is much more of a choice than it was a forceful kind of reckoning, realizing that you are black and therefore other, and the salt that happens to your body in that moment. Obama kind of explains it like the black coolness, it was such an interesting take that Obama's entryway into his blackness is quite different from Michelle's entrance into blackness. So it's just interesting, girl. Read it so we can kiki and talk about it in January. Get your life, okay? Okay, y'all ready for the petty? Kanye West met with Donald Trump. Now, Kanye West, something's going on with Kanye, right? And I really haven't talked much about it because I feel like mental health is something that I want to be very delicate in how I refer to. And a lot of the language and kind of verbiage that gets thrown at Kanye or about Kanye around his mental health, I feel like has negative implications to the people who have found a way to deal with what we consider to be severe mental health issues like schizophrenia, bipolar, multiple personality disorder. They have found healthy ways and gotten the help they needed to become productive members of society where, unless they tell us, we quite frankly would never know. I haven't really found a summation in how to talk about Kanye. I do feel like he needs some sort of mental health care. I just don't feel like he's in a good environment. One, being around the Kardashians. But you know, when Kanye went to visit Trump is out here speaking with the blacks who have nothing really to do with the black community at large. He's really just getting a press opportunity and something to tweet about and media headlines that will distract from the more serious things that are going on, like who he's appointing to the Department of Energy or who he's trying to appoint as his Secretary of State, and these much heavier, harder topics that Americans just are so, we read about it and we so over it because it's just stressful, and then it's much easier to sit and digest and kiki and criticize Kanye meeting with him. But I feel like Kanye is absolutely in the wrong. Kanye is still holding on to when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people. That's like the last thing Kanye did for the black community. Since then, it has been a continual progression of slights against the black community, whether it's like empowering Vanessa Beecroft, that artist, to feel like she can be black because she's working with Kanye and not checking her on her BS, or selling the Confederate flag on his concert tour apparel, the languaging in his model calls, and people constantly fall back on Kanye being a genius and a creative, but at no point do we hold him accountable. Then we have Trevor Noah and Charlemagne with Tomi Lahren. Now, I'm gonna keep this real quick because I honestly feel like anybody that supports Tomi Lahren should be canceled. Point blank, period. You don't need to have my support. You good without me. Charlemagne getting on Twitter talking about there needs to be a black or Latino woman who does what Tomi does, entirely ignoring the structures that entirely erase the narrative of black women and uplift and amplify the narrative of women who look like Tomi. Tomi ain't smart. I don't even think Tomi believes in half the shit she be talking about. I don't even think Tomi can sit here and articulate and have a real debate with you about the ideals of the Republican Party, about state rights, about fiscally conservative government, about a constructive belief in the Constitution. She can't do none of that. She's really gonna always lay on the sword of the Black Lives Matter and like the KKK. She's gonna be anti-black, anti-democrat, anti-Hillary Clinton, regardless of how much it disadvantages what the Republican Party actually stands for. She is about peak whiteness. Why are you giving her a platform? Why are you amplifying her into the homes of people that would have never clicked on the blaze, would have never watched her Facebook page? She only going viral because she a cute blonde girl. She not even cute. You know, white people got weird taste. Trevor Noah's trash to me anyway. I'm glad he did this so we can finally cancel him, because are you watching The Daily Show? With regards to Charlemagne, The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne been problematic. I'm over it. Cancel him too. But before you cancel him, go watch the interview that The Breakfast Club did with Jamila Lamoon and Amber Phillips. I think they handled it thoroughly. Learn some things, hear some things, absorb some things. Girl, they laid it down proper and cancel that man. Go out. Bye-bye. Last night I was getting ready to watch me a movie on the TVs and sit home, turn the heat up because it was cold in Dallas, girl. And then everyone on Twitter was popping off about Black China. So I don't even follow the Kardashians on social media, except for I do follow Kim on Snapchat, but she ain't posted since like October, since she got like hemmed up in that kidnapping. Speaking of Tomi Lahren, I actually think Tomi Lahren is following the strategy of Kris Jenner and the Jenner Kardashian clan in using this negative obsession with someone, heighten their social currency, and that now that you're paying attention to her, now that she can make headlines, now she has this big following on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, whether you're following her out of hate, out of how stupid can you be, or because you do agree with her, you're still following her. She still has the numbers. When I'm asking you to go watch my sponsored content, that AARP video, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not. Honestly, it matters that I can go and say, you know, this many people watch that video. That height is my social currency. People, I can sit here and do clickbait, negative, have all the hate in the world, but people are watching me, people are amplifying me, people are sharing and say, look how dumb she is, go watch her, go tell her about herself. That's making me valuable, and it's been done over. I mean, what is Kylie, what is Chloe, what is Kim? What is a Nene Leakes? What is a Omarosa? You know, what is a Tiffany Pollard? This is what people do, and just because we stick a conservative Republican stamp on it and make it sound like they're talking about politics when they really don't know what they're talking about, and we can tell they don't know what they're talking about, same damn thing. So with regards to the Blac Chyna and Rob Kardashian thing, I don't even know what to believe. Rob Kardashian was on Snapchat snapping about how Blac Chyna done moved out their $8 million house that he bought for them, even though when Blac Chyna got with them, supposedly she was with Chloe. Girl, I don't know. I ain't never watched a day of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I just be reading this ish on Twitter, and I did read Sylvia Obell's article on BuzzFeed, which kind of broke down how Blac Chyna had followed the Kardashian strategy to inculcate herself into the Kardashian name and be able to up her social currency. It's a really actually fascinating and good read. When Rob is Snapchatting and showing the house and stuff, I'm like, where was he when Blac Chyna was moving out? Like, the house is immaculate. Like, she apparently not only moved out, she took all the foods, all the furnitures, and vacuum. When have you ever in angst against a Negro up and left his house and then proceeded to vacuum? Remember, Rob is a Pisces. They be living in their own reality of conspiracy theories. Chyna, they ain't even ever live in that house. They ain't never live in that house. Wasn't even a crumb in the pantry. How she took your favorite chips. How she took all the open food items and ain't no crumbs in there, girl. Ain't nothing. And you can still see the vacuum lines in the deck. Like, come on, sis. Chyna done moved out the house, but somebody somehow hacks into her iPhone, hacks into her Instagram, and is posting all these screenshots of text conversations claiming her to be a gold digger. The same old narrative against single black moms about her using Rob. And quite frankly, I don't really see how she used Rob. If anything, it's from his Snapchat, it's clear Rob is going through something and he needs some sort of help. And Blac Chyna, at the very minimum, left to procure the safety of herself and her children. They both used each other. Like, their TV show comes on tonight. They out here promoting. Like, 4 hours before all this popped off, the last Instagram post from both of them was, watch our TV show tonight about the birth of our daughter Dream. Like, come on, Kris Jenner and that strategy. You gonna hoe out your, I might not like how you do it, but I appreciate the hustle, girl. Here we are, consumed social current, because it's so crazy you want to talk about it. You know, I was trying to write an article about why I don't need to talk about racist based off of I don't even agree with Trevor Noah or Charlemagne in the least, and because like we need to boycott Tommy Lauren, and I wrote a whole article about her dumb ass, and I'm like, I'm sitting here talking about ignore her, and I done wrote 600 words about her. If you are looking for some good music, tons of good music has dropped in the past 2 weeks. I haven't listened to the J. Cole album yet, but I've heard it's great. But Donald Glover, you know, I actually have a mixed review on this album, but since most of y'all don't know what Maggot Brains is, we're not really gonna get into it. I think it's worth a listen. It's good. I really enjoy the Funkadelic type vibe from the album, so if you're looking for something new to listen to, cop that Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, and then we could just have a kiki about it in 2017. Thanks for watching. Get your Stay Blessed Out by the shirt for the 2017. Tuesday.